Fuck.
So Remy can't do video.
God, we still have not fixed Remy's video, but at least we have voices.
I can't change anything.
God, I need a
I'm
damn nap now. Hi, everyone. Thanks for sticking around.
Hi.
Oh, man. All right. Twirl, I see that you have moved on to your phone. Do you want to do your intro, or you want me to come back to you? I know I already, fucking wasted
No,
it.
I'm ready.
I know you went. All right. You go, Twirl.
Here I am.
Tell the people who you are.
Yes.
Can everyone hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Twirlisha Divine. I am the Black Gold Goddess. That's my tagline. Also known as the Harlot of O'Hare. That's a story for another day. I am a 2.5-year-old showgirl. You don't need to know how old I am in life. I am also the producer, creator, and host of a podcast called Showgirl Sunday Dinner. And yeah, I think that's, and I guess I'm supposed to say that I am also the Grand Master of Funk for the What the Funk Festival, an all POC burlesque. So,
That, and you are supposed to do that. That's true.
I have that. Okay.
I'm so glad you're here, Twirl. Patsy, talk about you.
Hello. I am Patsy Climax. I have been doing burlesque for coming up on 2 years. This summer it'll be 2 years. I am an international trash clown. I sing. Anytime I take my clothes off, you also have to sit through me singing. They never separate. So, I am the producer of Razor Glam Productions, and we put on really stupid burlesque shows in Nashville. I have dubbed us the dumbest burlesque show in Nashville, and I think it's pretty accurate. And I just ate some pizza, so I'm living the dream. That's it. I haven't won anything. I'm not the Grand Master. I'm the Grand Master of Pizza in my house.
Yeah, that's important.
Thank you for being here and not giving me fine.
Doing that.
Sorry about it. Remy D, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. I'm Remy D. I am a little fuzzy on how long I've been doing professional burlesque, but I took my clothes off in front of people on a stage for the first time about back in 2011, so almost 10 years ago. I'm based in New Orleans. I'm known as the Cure with the Curves and the Shalmation Sensation. I am the producer of Remy's Playhouse. I've written and directed a few burlesque plays, including my Nightmare Before Christmas burlesque show. And I'm most well-known, the act that gets me accepted everywhere is my Pee Wee Herman burlesque tribute.
Yes. It's actually the first act I ever saw you do, Remy.
Yeah.
Also same.
Was that at Dragon Con?
It was at Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I
saw it at Savannah Burlesque Festival and it changed my life.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you guys for being here. All right, and I'll do the thing. I'm Ginger O'Snap. I have been
your camera's better.
Been burlesque shit for
But let me
three years and some change, I guess. Something like that. I don't know. Seems like forever. Background is in theater and given two shits about being naked, so the line when it became burlesque gets a little fuzzy for me. I think it was 3 years ago. And I've been doing, cosplay and convention shit longer than that. So at some point, the line between cosplay and burlesque also got real blurry for me. And so that's what I'm known for, is nerdy burlesque nonsense brand, I think. So what we're gonna do as showgirls talking shit, hanging out in our gym jams, some fancier than others. First,
These are my real gym.
for those of you, especially those of you on the Twitch side, maybe even Facebook, you know what? I'm not going to make any assumptions about your background or what medium you're choosing to watch this on, but we're going to talk about burlesque a little bit so that you know what the hell we're talking about when we say that word, because otherwise the next few minutes are going to be real confusing for you. Like, I mean, they're going to be no matter what, but I feel like if we can ease you into it a little bit, we should probably do that. So who wants to take their first stab at defining burlesque? What is burlesque to you? What do you want to offer about burlesque's history? Do you want me to just give burlesque's history? How do you want to do this? Don't all talk at once.
Well, quick question on my end. We fixed my partner's laptop. Should I try to come in on video with
we can try, and you know what? If it breaks everything, we'll just fix it. We've done it. We're in this for the long haul. Like, they're here with us. We're here with them. We're gonna fucking figure it out. So yeah, you go. You do it.
All right. Let's see.
All right. While we're doing that, I will do speed run of American burlesque. Most people, when they think of burlesque, they go to about the 20s and they don't think it goes back any farther than that. But that's not true. American burlesque actually started in like the late 1800s. A British broad came over and brought a show called the British Blondes, and that is technically when burlesque started. It was the music hall, scantily clad, little ankles showing kind of situation. But what you think of when you think of burlesque, oh, I'm hearing myself echo. Who is that coming? All right. I feel like I just scolded a student. So when you think of the early 1900s and you think of the 20s, you think of the Ziegfeld Follies, you think of Minsky's Burlesque, you think of New York and peep shows, things like that. Prohibition really helped to ramp burlesque up in America because nightclubs became super interesting during Prohibition. And then in the late 30s, Mayor LaGuardia, who the beautiful LaGuardia Airport is named after, decided that burlesque was filthy and nasty, and he wanted it fucking shut down. So he started placing a bunch of restrictions on what burlesque dancers could and couldn't wear, the parts of their bodies they could and couldn't show, and those things still permeate the United States in certain states today. They're called blue laws, and they tell us what we can and can't show. In some states, they're just real weird and ridiculous, and we will get into that. I will say burlesque after that, because of the crackdown, kind of took a shift. It made its way into the silver screen, into the 40s and 50s, and then in the mid-50s, early 60s is when Minsky's Burlesque made the push into Las Vegas and brought us to the Vegas showgirl that we have today, that so many people associate with burlesque. And then it just kind of lived there from like the 70s to the 90s. Burlesque really kind of lived in Vegas, kind of died regionally. It was still happening, but not to the extent it is today. And then in the 90s, burlesque had a big ol' fucking comeback and got weirder and broader, and performance artists latched on and singers latched on, and it kind of took the original idea of vaudeville and burlesque and brought like some 90s rebellion and fucking weirdness to it, and has really only continued to from there. So now burlesque has become a huge thing. Oh, Remy?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
God? It's okay. I can still hear you, and I still have your beautiful picture up.
Okay. Well, we thought we had it fixed, but I had to pick one or the other. On the laptop, it's video, and on the phone,
I'm telling
it's
you,
voice.
you're too hot. We can't have everything at once. That's what's happening. Yeah.
This is just letting the public know I'm more than just a pretty face. They need to listen.
That's right. I can put up do you want me to put up a less attractive picture of you? I don't know if I could find one. I don't think it exists. I'm going to leave it like it is. Okay, I'm done talking history. That's it. Let's talk about the more important question to all of us, which is, what does burlesque mean to you? And is it or is it not stripping? Is there a difference? Is there a distinction to be made? Whirl.
I'm a stripper.
Right?
Yeah, I think that burlesque is striptease, and if you don't think that, or you think you're gonna have to spend more money to do this, then that's kind of ridiculous. I think that folks who work in strip clubs have to put up with a lot more shit than we do on the burlesque stage. I know there are a lot of girls that cross over. So I think that there is a difference in the actual workload as far as having to deal with the public in a different way when you are a club stripper versus being a burlesque performer. But at the end of the day, we're all taking our clothes off in public to enter people. I think there are things that you can do on a burlesque stage that you can't necessarily do in a club stripping environment. There are different types of themes and things that are expressions of ourselves that, but at the end of the day, we're still taking our clothes off, whether you be, on a pole or in a theater. It's still striptease to me. I wish somebody would hire me to hang from my pinky toe from a pole at this point, but me old, so that's probably not gonna happen. But no, I do not see that there is a like classist difference between the two. I think there is a difference in labor, but I do not think that there is a difference as far as people trying to say that burlesque is classy or what. I'm out here shaking my ass, just like everybody else. So there's that.
Remy, what do you think?
Somebody told me forever ago, I wish I could remember who said it first, but you go to, I agree with everything Twilicia said, but what somebody told me years and years ago is you go to a strip club to see naked women, you go to a burlesque show to watch people take their clothes off. So
I like that.
I have no problem with being called a stripper, with telling people that I'm a stripper. It is what I'm doing. I've dabbled a little bit in club stripping, but I think with going to burlesque shows and going to strip clubs, like there's a little bit of a different intent from the audience. Like I've seen, like, I'll put it this way, I've seen people try to put burlesque, like classic burlesque, on in a strip club, and the audience is usually disappointed because they're trying to see the breast faster in a strip club,
That the tease is not that important.
Right. So I think there are definitely similar aspects to both. I don't think one is better than the other, but that's what always pops into my head when somebody asks me what's the difference between burlesque and stripping.
Yeah, that's pretty close to the way that I usually answer it too when I get the question is what's the difference is for me, it's not just audience intent, it's also performer's intent. And there are a lot of girls I know that cross over and do both. And I feel like in a club stripping setting, your intent is for the patron, about the patron. Like that is it. You are there with the intent of making it about the patron, the client that's watching you. Whereas burlesque is more about the intent of you as a performer. And what you want to put out on the stage, like it's not necessarily for the patron, they're with you, and it's an exchange between Patsy's just balls. It's an exchange between you and the audience, but you are not necessarily there to cater to or to be at the whim and the beck and call of the audience or patron.
Right.
So I mean, it absolutely does not hurt my feelings when people call me a stripper, but I do think that the sometimes the distinction is important for the same reason that Twirl said, or that you said, of like the audience being disappointed, because I think that expectations are important. And not that you can necessarily expect what's going to happen at a burlesque show, because good fucking luck. But at least having the expectation of, is this going to be for me as an audience member 100% and exactly what I want to see, which is you naked right now, or is this going to be a journey we're on together? And I think having that clarified up front is usually pretty important. Patsy, what do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of those things. I know a lot of people I've spoken to have kind of gone on the journey of being okay with being called strippers, and I've always thought that was kind of funny, because I feel like if you have a problem being called a stripper, it's because you have an issue with, like, there's a larger issue you probably should tackle, and maybe you shouldn't be taking your clothes off for people if you have an issue with other people doing it in their own way. But yeah, I call everybody strippers. It's a verb. You are stripping, so you are a stripper. And yeah, it's just, nobody wants to hire me, and it's probably, I mean, it would have to be a very niche strip club for it to be this face.
Clown specific. You can go to Jumbo's Clown Room right now.
Yeah, there's something for everybody.
It's real.
But
Wait,
yeah,
there's a clown strip club?
It's not. Jumbo's Clown Room is actually not clown themed at all. It is a really good strip club in LA.
it needs to be, and they need to have a clown night, and they need to hire me.
Go.
I've never been to a proper, like, a strip club.
There's a big crossover with Jumbo's and not just the burlesque world, but also the, like, commercial dance world and circus world. So those girls are.
Oh, so they and they're entertaining.
Yes, and they are athletic, and yeah, absolutely.
More clowns. That's what I just said. More clowns.
Some of that.
No, I like any form of art that you get to decide that you're doing it. So pole dancing, or if that's stripping in a club, or if that's dancing on a big old stage being fancy, it's fun. It's good times. I don't care. People should be naked more often.
Fancy dance
Agreed.
on stage.
It's my stance.
Fancy
Be
stage
naked.
dancing. Let's talk a little bit about some of the different kinds of burlesque. Genres and styles and pigeonholes we've been shoved into, things like that. What are some of your favorites? What are some things you've seen that have surprised you as far as what broadening the definition of what burlesque can be?
I definitely get I don't always look like a clown. But it's becoming my brand.
Disagree.
But I normally get put into the comedy, which is fine. I'm trying to be funny usually. But surprisingly, I end up most of the time in classic. They're like, oh, we'll put you in our classic show because you're singing songs from the 1940s. So that means that you're classic. And I'm like, Mama, that's not what's happening here, but I guess that's fine. So I'm trying to swim away from that, because that's not what I'm trying to give. So I have to, like, figure out how to get out of that. But that's my own fault for using songs from the 40s.
I mean, I'm on the same page as you, because I have a classic fan burlesque piece to Mystical Shake It Fast. So,
Outstanding.
I mean, that twirls assholes at the end. So, like, I just am someone who just thinks, like, fuck these categories. Like, I've never fit into the category in my whole goddamn life. Right? So it's like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm a
I
brat.
think the categories are more there for the audience, honestly. But I feel like in a perfect world, if you want to see naked people, go, you should just go to the show. And in a perfect world, people would be, like, accepting of all of the categories, but people feel the need to put, this is a classic show, or this is a nerd show, or it's like, it's not necessary.
And it becomes really challenging, like you said, Twirl, for those of us, which are many of us, who like to fucking mix things together, and let's say do, like, a fucking high-end classy nerd routine.
Yes.
Never gonna get it booked in a classic show, because technically I'm a character, and that's not classic somehow. So yeah, it definitely the mashing of the predefined categories makes you a little more difficult in some ways to get cast in certain. Sure.
But I also think that there are certain things about me that are gonna make. So I just say fuck. You know, there are certain people that don't like casting people who do things that they consider quote unquote ghetto, and that's where the fuck I'm from. So it's who I am. So like, can I do the super upscale posh classy act? The costume that I'm wearing actually from a super classic act that I do. But I don't like to have to follow those kinds of rules. I feel like anything that I do and any artistic reputation that I have, or whatever body size I have, because I'm not super skinny, but I'm also not considered plus size. So I'm like in that middle kind of thing. So it's like whatever body I'm bringing and whatever costume I'm bringing, whatever idea I'm bringing, that's the idea of burlesque. Like, it's not necessarily that I need to pigeonhole. And I don't want to necessarily work for the producers or the festivals or the whatever that need me a certain thing in order to get on their stage. Like, yeah, I feel like we're kind of like taking all, like disrupting all of that and breaking. Yes. We're dabbing on those fucking barriers.
I'm dabbing on them.
You know what?
Fuck it.
I technically don't allow dabbing in my house, but since you are here virtually, I can do nothing about it.
Oh, I'm coming over when this is over to dab on your front porch.
Dab,
Do
I'm
not,
bringing it back.
dabbing.
do not
Love dabbing.
fucking support this at all.
Dab parade.
Terrible. So, moral of that story is don't put us in a fucking box. We don't want to be in your fucking box. And if you have a box, we don't want to be in it anyway. Let's see. Patsy was so nice because she built this little outline for us. So I'm just going through the outline.
I'm not organized
It's
normally.
okay. It's okay. All right. So how do your loved ones, your family and friends, are you out? Are you burlesque out with everyone? Are there people that you haven't told? Have you told people and it's gone horribly? Gone well? Tell your best stories, your worst stories.
I have a very dramatic answer for this one.
Oh, please do. I love the drama.
We're here. We're here to support.
Drama.
I did burlesque for a whole year before telling my parents, and then when I told my mom, she was not happy.
Oh.
Like what's funny though is because like a lot of people ask if my dad was upset about it. My dad has never really given me a hard time about it because I think it's because he's a musician. So he gets it on some level. He gets the, you know, the drive to perform, and he, you know, was, you know, growing up in the rock star lifestyle. He wasn't like a complete saint himself. He's but my mom, and the way that she put it, she's like, I'm not religious, I'm not conservative, but I'm old fashioned. And I am their youngest kid, so I guess it, you know, to some extent is weird for their youngest daughter to be on a stage, taking her clothes off in front of people and stuff. But yeah, it was very upsetting. It was very dramatic. She has tried coming to a show since then.
Oh, wow.
She didn't really like it, but it gave her some it eased her mind a little bit to know that it wasn't just like a bunch of men, you know, jerking off in the audience while they're watching me. It's like it was a diverse group of people having a good time, enjoying the show. And then when I turned 30, I did a big charity show. It was just like it was a lot of variety, a lot of the best people in New Orleans. And I was just hosting that one. So I invited both of my parents to come, and they actually had a great time. But she's still, it's just still the idea that it's her daughter doing it. Like, she's fine with burlesque being a thing. It's just, I think it's weird for her that her daughter is doing it.
Is it something that you
as
guys talk about openly, or is it just one of those things that doesn't get discussed?
It's just one of those things, like, because I've tried, it's just one of those things we don't really discuss anymore. Like, I do event shows in New Orleans too. Like, I dress up in costumes and work conventions. So she knows I do that, and she's excited about that. So it's kind of the point where I'm just like, well, I can't Saturday, I have a gig. And I just don't tell her what kind of gig it is.
And I'm guessing she doesn't
Because
ask.
in my experience, it's just easier that way. But as far as like if I'm out to the world, it depends. I'm pretty much out now. When I was working my desk job a couple of years ago, I was discreet about it. But when I got hired for the job, like I told the hiring manager up front, like, look, this is what I do at night. I have a different name for it. Nobody else has to know, like whatever. And they didn't think it was a big deal. So
Rock on, job.
What about
I feel like
Patsy, Twirl? Have you guys had issues with jobs? Like, I think that's best case scenario is being to out yourself like that and actually have it go well. Like, that's a big risk. I definitely. I mean, I've had the advantage of being in the same situation, job wise, where I've been really transparent about what I do, and I'm fortunate enough. I in my muggle jobs, I've had enough authority and power that I've felt safe and comfortable making that revelation to people, because I don't know that I would have felt comfortable if I were not in that kind of position. But you guys?
My current muggle job is very into it. They sponsor my shows, the ones I produce. The owner of the store I work in wants to come. Some of them are probably watching this now. They're super into it. And every muggle job I've had while I've been doing this has been that way. The only one that I didn't super duper talk about it, I had a desk job at Warby Parker. And my like immediate pod knew, but like it wasn't like my thing on Slack wasn't like a stripper picture of me. Do you know? Like, but people knew. But like my family is, so I got very lucky in the jobs department, but my family is the other side of that.
Yep.
My parents both know. My sister is like chill because she's my sister, so she doesn't give a shit. But my mom and my dad know, but they don't. It's she who should not be named. You know, it's the Patsy shows. That's what they say. And then my partner takes photos at a lot of these shows, and he only has the Muggle Facebook. He doesn't have a stripper Facebook because he's not a stripper. And he posted a picture at Curtain Call, and I said he could. I was like, cool, do it. And then immediately my grandma commented on it and said, I don't like this, Kelsey, because that's my real name. I don't care if people know. And I was like, but she's never spoken of it again. So that's fun.
It's the thing that shall not be named in your family.
Yeah, like she still sends me cards for my birthday, so I guess she's not like that peeved about it. Maybe she thought I was in a play or something. That might have been because like my titties were out.
Mm-hmm.
But she knows that I'm an actor, so she like maybe that's what she thought it was, but I ain't acting no more.
Whirl, how's your experience been with that? Twirlish.
She blinked.
Twirl.
I lost y'all for a second. I'm really grown, so I have the benefit of not having try and tell me what to do. Although even when I wasn't really grown, very well for most people. My husband, I am a married lady, and my husband loves that I do this because it brings me so much joy, and he comes to the shows. He's a fantastic burlesque, sparkly husband. Super supportive. He lets me buy all the rhinestones that I want. And sometimes I get side-eyed, but most of the time he's like, just go ahead. But as far as employment is concerned, back in school now, I was decided to go back to school I'm also a little bit older, and I am definitely get off my lawn. So I have been extremely open about this is what I do from jump. Like when I introduce myself in class, I say I am a burlesque performer. Like people ask you like what you do, and I'm like, I just wait for somebody to say something so I can cuss them
just
out.
Come, bring it.
Like do it because at me, bitch. Like what are you gonna do? Nothing. So yeah, my fuck quotient is so low that even if I was in a place where I was working that had a problem with it, they would either get over their problem or get employed. Because this is like what I do, and I'm not gonna stop unless the fucking clown from Apollo on the stage with his cane and drags me off. I'm probably gonna be shaking my titties and my ass. So
Oh, Pearl. Pearl, I will say your audio is cutting in a little bit, in and out, and I'm not sure. It seems to be your mic, but the good thing is 100% got the gist of what you were saying.
Mostly from the faces.
Everything is crashing around me right now.
Oh, you sound like you are in my fucking head right now. I like that. What's up? Yes.
It's ASMR.
Mike too.
Oh, we are ASMRing on
Do you love
I'm
me?
watching y'all on
Burlesque ASMR would be, it's just like peeling pasty tape, the clinkle of rhinestones. Like,
I will say, my mod Xanthia is 100% here for burlesque ASMR. She has been asking me for years. She just wants me just like gently rhinestoning things and talking. See, there she is. Where's my rhinestone stream? See, this fucking thing.
There's a girl in New Orleans who has an ASMR burlesque act.
Oh god.
And she has to get a new pickle every time because she like gets a microphone. She gets up close to the microphone and she's eating the pickle while she's doing this burlesque act.
I want that. Please. I love that.
I just love that because there's pickles
Only
involved.
she'll bring me a pickle though, because I love pickles.
Yeah, see, I'm the same thing. Non-pickle related, I will say I've been pretty fortunate on I know, I'm sorry to steer us away from pickles. I don't want to alienate the non-pickle eating side of the audience, I suppose, which I think is just Max Damage. I don't know if anyone but
Well,
I know him to hate the pickles. I've been really fortunate in that my family, long before I did burlesque, I come from a very non-traditional kind of live and let live family. Like it was not like my grandparents are out there doing burlesque or anything, but they were very just like, you be your own unique snowflake, we love you as long as you're happy, like the best case scenario of family. And so I've actually done some brunch shows that my grandparents have come to, which is super fucking weird, but also like you just you do it, you do your show. And you know, my mom has come to my shows before. I think the reason I've gotten to the place where I've been able to support surround myself with a supportive family is because the shithead side of my family I had already excommunicated from my life prior to coming out as a burlesque performer. So I think I just avoided what I can only imagine would have been attempts at saving my soul and interventions and many a cussing at me for my choices. So I was fortunate in that I had already excised the cancerous portions of my family, which is not, I mean, I say that very flippantly now as if it was just really easy and I was like, bye this entire side of my family. Which I wasn't. It was really terrible and awful and lots of crying, and it was not an overnight decision at all. But ultimately, if people are terrible to you, you don't have to have them in your life. And certainly you don't have to have them in your life in every respect. Like, it doesn't have to be a black and white, they're either in or they're out. I think it can absolutely be in degrees. Like, I will just hold these people over here, and they will be allowed into this much of my labor and space and emotions, and not into the rest, because they're not, here for me and what I do, and they're not supporting me, so they're not deserving of all of that energy. I'm not gonna get
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know, I'm very aware of, I know plenty of other stripper friends and performers, even non-strip. I mean, just saying you are going to be an actor or you're going to go into musical theater can be very polarizing for some families. And I know how difficult that has been, and that loss of those relationships, or the tumultuousness of those relationships. So I will always offer my mother and to any of you. You have them at any fucking time. And they will come to your shows. My grandparents are only coming if it's a brunch show, though. They don't go out after like 4.
That's fine. I would rather not either. So.
Me too. If every show was a brunch show, my life.
Yeah.
So Toril touched on it earlier, the expenses of burlesque, as being a difference between club stripping and burlesque, the budget of it all. We've mentioned muggle jobs, we've mentioned school, we all have side hustles, which we will plug and promote, and all those kinds of things. But how do you budget burlesque into your life, and how are you doing as far as breaking even? Let's say that. Are we breaking even, folks?
Sure.
In the long run?
I assume we're talking about up until like maybe a month and a half, 2 months
Yes,
ago.
yes. We will transition into pandemic section of the talk quite soon, which I feel is just different. So let's talk about the before times, and then
long ago.
Yes, long time ago when we were still stripping. Were you feeling successful in this burlesque world? Was it still feeling like a hustle and a day-to-day grind? Have any of you, I know I haven't, I have 100% not reached a point where I don't feel like I'm hustling my ass off to work and to stay relevant. So if you have passed that status, please let me know how you got there. We're all still dressed in ass.
I mean, with producing shows, I am in the black, so that's good. If I'm budgeting out performance as a separate thing, I am deep in the red. And if I combine them, I maybe am breaking even. So I'm not in the before time. So I'm not super mad about it. I'm figuring out right now, I'm actively making a ton of investments into the performing side, because I spent the last year doing a lot of the producing, hence being in the black for that. So I'm taking some of that money and throwing it into the performing side so that I can be less of a trash clown and more of a regular clown. And so
like a
very
trash
soon,
clown.
like a recycling clown.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dumpster behind the Whole Foods, like that kind of trash.
Yeah.
So I'm very shortly going to be deep, like those fish with the light on their head, deep in the red.
Yeah. So you know what? Let's just do it. Let's
Anglerfish.
Let's
It's an
dive
anglerfish.
into the current, as Southerners say it, everything going on right now. With everything going on.
As a Jaws fan, I call it the whole damn thing.
The whole damn thing. Let's. I'm gonna make Patsy talk for a while, because I think of all of us, she's the first to have jumped into the world of virtual shows. So let's talk a little bit how we can harness the internets for strippins.
Yeah, I've done some now. I've been in some virtual shows, various types. I haven't done a live stream show yet. That scare me, because live streams, as we can see, hard. But I've been in a couple.
That's just fucking me, guys. That's just me breaking shit. That's not.
I don't like the internet. But I've been in some shows where they like you send in a video of you at home and then they play it and then they send you money after. And that has been we're gonna do one this Friday, which is gonna be neat. Ginger's in it. She's over here on my computer. I don't know where she is on yours. Yeah, and it's just it's still unknown. Everybody is kind of like, what the fuck? So nobody knows what they're. So it's all kind of equally nuts. But yeah, it's honestly very similar. The pre-production side is very, very similar to putting on a live show. It's like you have to cast people, you have to like wrangle the cats via email, which is super fun. You've got to promote the fuck out of it with no money. You have to somehow take no money and make it into money, which is against science, I think. Like there's a science that says that it's not possible. And yeah, but then we filmed today. That's why I'm like this, like the MC bits of the show that is going to go up on Friday. And I didn't realize how weird it is to deliver jokes and nobody laugh. Like normally if you have an audience and nobody laughs at your jokes, that's your own fault for making a but today it's like, oh, I'm delivering things that normally get a laugh to my cat and they just want their food out of the cabinet and for me to shut up. Like, so that's really the biggest jump is the performing to no one thing.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing for me too. Anytime I've had to film and act it either in a dead rehearsal space or in my home for, pitching to something or for a virtual show, something like that.
Yeah.
Is burlesque is, at least for me, and I think for a lot of people, so much about the audience interaction and the give or take. And when there's nobody there, it's way harder. It's awful.
Yeah.
Because then there's a point where you're doing your thing and you take the thing off and then there's just the camera and you're like, ugh. Like, what the fuck do I do with this? Like, and you just like throw it over the camera. I don't know. What do you do? Like, it's like, it feels very.
Yeah, you can't read the crowd because it's so important to like read the audience. Like, how long should I do my assholes for? Well, right. Until they stop cheering, I guess. But if there's nobody there to cheer at the beginning.
For those of you who don't know, Patsy's not just saying asshole. She is, in fact, saying asshole, which
how long should I do my asshole
which
for?
is a tassel attached to your ass. Mm-hmm. It is
the cheeks of it.
An ass tassel.
Yeah,
asshole.
And you go like this with your butt, and they go like this.
Which is a whole new world of tassel.
There's a documentary, it's like burlesque, something Glitter Tribe, Heart of the Glitter Tribe, and there's like a cut, and it's like, with no context, somebody going, assholes are the greatest invention in the history of mankind, and then it just cuts and they never talk about it again. It's my favorite moment in anything burlesque related, because it's like somebody doing assholes, that line, and then Isaiah Esquire's doing something. Like we completely move on. It's so good.
I think I want that as a GIF. I just want that.
It's like a girl she's like a taco, and she's a taco, and she's doing her assholes as a taco. It's so good. It's so good. I love assholes. They're always good.
I feel like that GIF in and of itself is like anytime someone is like, so, but what do you do? I just be like,
taco shaking her ass.
Yeah. See that?
That's it.
Like if I could put like a superhero cape on the taco, that would be 100% an answer to what I do would ask.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I feel like.
But yeah.
What about you, Twirl? Have you done some cool online shit? How are you making it as a broke ass stripper in this here pandemic?
I am broke as fuck, yo, and I keep getting broker because I'm home. I'm home in the house, and I'm in the house board, and I'm fucking shopping, okay? So, and I have time to rhinestone things that haven't been previously rhinestoned as well as they were before, because I don't have as much shit to do. So, I did one online show. There's a DJ here. Her name is DJ Mad Dog True. I actually did the show on Twitch. And she did a show and asked me if I wanted to be part of it. And I was like, sure, why not? So that was the first show that I did. I'm going to be doing something with a local drag queen here virtually that's going to be kind of like a competition. But I'm not supposed to talk about it because it's like still in the works. But that should be fun. But I'm nervous about the whole performance. This whole situation with the royalty fucking crazy ass ways to kind of try and figure out. I don't want to shake my ass to elevator music. I can only do like so much EDM. Like it's just too much for me. Like it all starts to sound the same. Like I don't know. So I'm in this like, but also like I listen to classical music and I'm like, oh my god, such a beautiful burlesque piece. But then I'm like, bitch, nobody wants to see fucking shake your ass to Bach. Like
I mean,
I might want to see that.
Can you do it to the magic flute?
no, that would be interesting.
I'll sing for you. Call me and I'll sing during your
But
live
it's like
stream.
it's so weird, and I'm such a curmudgeon. Like I don't want to edit the music over my video. I'm being such a brat about it, right? And meanwhile, I'm being a brat and spending money I don't have, and it's a problem because I just bought a fucking robe for a new costume that I really need to like hustle and pay for, but I'm running around here acting like I'm balling or something, and that's absolutely not the case. So I'm really just every day
like
I have a
acting
conversation.
like you're ballin' is the first step to ballin'.
Yeah.
Right. So I need
illusion.
no, but that's a lie. That's some shit. That's some hood shit that's not real. I need to get to the actual part of being able to do my shit without like charging into the game, because the game could not finance me forever. Like I need to, yeah. So I'm gonna start applying for some virtual shows and festivals and stuff so that I can make some money, because I can't keep doing this anymore. My husband is going to kill me.
Well, you're hired as long as you do the magic flute at one of my shows. So.
I will do the magic flute. I rhinestone this though. Like this is an upgrade.
I'm proud of you.
Hell yeah.
I do have a question. So where are folks getting their royalty free? This is a thing that I think, like, what I have found is the majority of royalty free music that I've come across is great for background music. So great for streaming while you're playing a video game. Great for, I don't know, a film score, but not great for shaking that ass in whatever way you shake it. I mean, I am totally down with some weird fucking vintage music. Like that tends to be what I go for, is like songs from the 40s, but just not finding that out there.
well, I know a lot of people are actually turning to like musician friends who are creating original music. Hold on, my partner's jotting something down. Oh, he said ask musician friends. He says check SoundCloud and check iTunes.
Cool. I never go into iTunes for literally anything. SoundCloud I have been poking around, and Patsy was nice enough to start this lovely document and also an associated Spotify playlist for the folks for the musicians that were on Spotify already. That is musician friends that have reached out to her and said, yes, please use my royalty free.
Who have like okayed us using their music.
Yeah.
Like they're like, hey, I like strippers. Take this, strip to it, just tag me in the video so that I can post. So it's like mad cross promotion. So I'll put Facebook stopped letting me post things. I don't know what I did, but I'll post it on my Facebook so everybody can have it, because it's great. I got some like dope, like all ranges of indie musicians who are like, yeah, use my music. If I get an email from Vimeo that's like, someone's using your music, I'll say okay, because that's what happens. is like if you use an artist without asking or without having the license attached to your thing, they get an email and they're like, someone is using your music, and they're like, I don't give a fuck. So unless it's Beyonce and she gives a fuck,
She gives all the fucks. Sure, she's allowed to give.
Yeah, no, yeah.
She also makes enough money that she really.
Beyonce, donate your music to the stripper.
That ass, like, let us perform and like use your music, y'all, bro. You're gonna be okay. Like,
right?
I bet there are some big recording artists that if we started like an internet petition to be like, hey, release the royalties on your music so the strippers can use it, they'd be down. Like a Cardi B, a Nicki Minaj. I'm sure a Beyonce would be into it. Like people who are stripper friendly. That new Fiona Apple album is dope as fuck. She seems stripper friendly. Like let's reach out. Somebody start a petition on the internet. I don't know how to. I can't.
Like, I want to roll a partition up on a motherfucker.
I'm sure Beyonce would be very happy to see your ass shake to that song. So you should reach out. I don't know who runs her Twitter, but it's not her.
It's not her.
She's too busy running an empire.
It's not looking at, and nobody cares about. Nobody knows who we are. Okay,
Correct.
It's so sad.
We're gonna make them know. We're gonna tell them. Send them a picture of this face and say, "Give me your music."
I'm just gonna.
It's a purge face right here.
I did see someone, and I can't remember who posted it, and I can't remember what the thread was, so this is not going to be useful until I do deep digs on the internet. But I did see a post somewhere where someone said a virtual show they were hosting that they had bought licensing rights for that stream particularly, like the same way that a music venue does, or that a club does. So I'll find it. I'm not sure how expensive it was or how inclusive it is. But I mean, that's cool. I can't imagine having confidence enough in your virtual show to front load that kind of
on YouTube and Vimeo, it's something like $900.
Oh hell no!
Yeah, it's not per show. It's like you pay $900 and then you can license music, or you can use licensed music for like a year or something like that. Somebody, I think it was Miss Audacious, maybe posted it. Okay. I think. Oh, fuck, I can't remember. But yeah, it's really expensive. I tried. Yeah, it's a lot of money. Nobody has that line around.
Ain't nobody blowing like that.
You know,
I would rather shake my ass to the Magic Flute than pay $900.
We're just gonna have to get real creative with shaking it to some old fucking classical music or some just real chill, like chill hop.
Find a third grade class that's learning to play the recorder.
Just hot cross buns for 4 minutes.
That's a kink. Somebody out there wants that.
I mean, hot cross buns is definitely asking for a lot of butt work.
For hot cross buns?
Yeah. 100%.
Well, what is it, in 1925, any music before then, released before then is free game?
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not a cover?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So, pro tip for, I don't know who's watching.
I mean,
I found some Bessie Smith songs that I'm about to drop it like it's hot too. So.
Yes. I enjoy her.
What are you guys doing on the individual monetization front? We have like OnlyFans going, you have Patreons going, you have some other shit I don't know about going, your secret snaps, I don't know, I'm 100 years. What are you guys doing? How are you making that money on your own?
I am doing OnlyFans.
You like it?
How do you like it?
I'm enjoying it so far. It's insane because I actually started it like just before I started my OnlyFans February 1st when the coronavirus wasn't even a blip on the radar, so I guess I lucked out in just starting it at the right time. And it's got me a little bit of income coming. It's not quite enough to take care of my usual expenses. I'm hoping it gets to that point.
Income
but
coming, not quite.
The downside is
so many Rimmies.
They do take 20%. Wait, what's that?
I heard so many of you at once. Now I only hear one of you. Good. It was okay. It was
Can you hear me now?
a chorus of Remy's. Yes, I hear.
Oh, I have no idea what happened. Yeah, they do. So OnlyFans does take 20% of everything that you get. The way it works is you set a rate. You can have people sign up for $10 a month, $15 a month, whatever. And then you can sell content like through private messages, or they can tip you on the different posts. And whatever you get from all of that, OnlyFans does take 20%. But it's been lucrative for me so far in the 2 months I've had it. Again, like right now, I'm not making enough to pay for everything, but I feel more comfortable having it than not having it. So
For sure. I like the simplicity of that.
Yeah.
it is very
That's
simple. I'm still like figuring out what sells well and what my fans are into. Turns out my niche is cosplay. Who would have guessed? But and I haven't really I was worried that I would have to deal with like I don't know, people being disrespectful on my OnlyFans or making more lewd comments than I have to deal with elsewhere, but so far everybody's actually been pretty respectful on there. I'm impressed
Great.
and I'm very pleased.
Coral, have you been doing OnlyFans?
I have not. I have thought about it, and the only reason why I never before was because I just had no to create content that I felt like was a for. And now that we're in the fucking Coroniana vortex, I've been seeing a lot of posts from folks that have been on OnlyFans or that do cam work or things of that, saying that they are kind of pissed off about all of the folks that are into this newer kind of sex work venue, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And kind of they're feeling a little bit territorial about it. And I do understand their kind of issue, but then I also think that if you are a person that has any following, and people decide to follow you on fans, it's not like you're stealing revenue from someone else.
Right.
You're just
Right.
creating a new stream of revenue for yourself.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I was thinking about it today, and I do think that I will actually. Part of my issue is imposter wants to see anything that I do.
Yeah, I think we all feel that.
So yeah, so it's like nobody wants to see me naked on OnlyFans. Like nobody cares.
They do.
So
They do want to see that. Probably.
yeah, so I just think that I'm just gonna put it out there, and it's naked on OnlyFans, and they can. And if they don't, then it just won't work, and I'll shut it down. I think that OnlyFans is probably, I don't know, from what I'm seeing, Patreon is a lot more work because like Patreon is super artistic, whereas OnlyFans is like, here's my butt.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely more of a here's my butt.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I will say, because I started with Patreon a little over a year ago, and it can become very complex very quickly because of all of the different tiers and trying to offer different things between the different tiers and making sure that everybody is getting something that you feel is equivalent to what they're donating, the level they're donating at. It is I let it go for a year and then kind of overhauled things, the things that I thought were taking more of my time than I was actually getting back out of it monetarily. I nixed and then I definitely went the route of more digital things. But I am really attracted to the overall simplicity of OnlyFans for sure. Also, Patreon's UI is really, really terrible. And especially if you're using it on mobile, it's just a pain ass. And I've heard that OnlyFans is a lot easier to use. So I think that that's really attractive. And the idea of like ownership or market saturation or any of that, I mean, like Greek just said in chat, the same thing happens on Twitch. Like there are a fuck ton of people streaming now that were not streaming before because they're stuck in their damn house and they have a webcam and they want to talk to people. I'm one of them. So like, I mean, the same thing happens with burlesque. I mean, you know, the territorial things that happen when a new performer comes along and people start to feel threatened, like they're not going to get work anymore because now there's another performer to book. But like, you book yourself. You do the thing. Like
Yeah.
they're not taking money out of your hand. It's not how it works. So I say
Yeah,
put your butt on OnlyFans and the people will show up. It's bound to happen.
every single person is bringing something unique to OnlyFans. I have no issue with new people signing up all of a sudden after the pandemic because, I mean, there's no shortage of fans out there. The only people that I raise an eyebrow at is women who kind of turned their nose down on camming and sex work before, but now all of a sudden are like, oh, I'm just gonna get an OnlyFans now. It's super simple. It's easy money. That's what upsets me.
Right.
Fuck those people.
Yeah. You can take your judgment that you had 5 minutes ago elsewhere and not be doing this right now.
Right.
I can totally. Yeah, we had a comment in chat talking about the same kind of feelings around new shows and there not being enough room for all the shows in a town, and just not the way it is. People will come. There's room. There's room for
as long as you're not intentionally like encroaching on something, like
Absolutely.
you have to be intentionally encroaching for it to be encroaching.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean that gets around, right? I mean it's bound to happen. This happened long before I did burlesque, when I was still in the like contemporary and modern dance world. Like shows happen on the same night, even in a town like Nashville that does not have that much contemporary dance going on. It happens, and we try our best for it not to happen, but the vast majority of the time it's not intentional. And I do know there are people in the burlesque world who intentionally book the same night as shows that they see as competition. And frankly, I don't understand the thought process behind it. I don't know how you're helping yourself by doing that. You made your choice intentionally, and that starts to get around. People notice. But accidental overlap is gonna happen, and the audience can just... They'll be there.
That's when you have to like bring something different to the table.
Absolutely.
That's like, like if there's a like, I know we hate labels, but if there's a nerd show happening the same night as a classic show with live music, like that's a lot of the time that's a different audience. You know what I mean? Like you're going to get a different crowd. So that's one thing, but it's when someone has the same theme as you and is on the same night and is having performers do acts that are super similar to performers in your... And then I want to murder.
You don't want that.
That's bullshit.
That was the before times. Now there's shows happening on the internet literally every moment of the day. So
what
you
do
can't
we think?
say anything.
We're talking about before times and we've talked about now times, but a lot of us, depending on the states that we're in, are soon to be entering the transition times. And how are you guys feeling about shows and getting out there and doing the thing? Do you think that the community should choose to stay removed a little bit and continue with these virtual shows? Do you think we should get right back out there shaking it face to face with people? Like, how are you feeling? I know how I feel about it, but I'd like to hear how you feel first. Like, you go first.
I think it's going to be both. I mean, I think that this virtual world that everyone is in, being able to expose your art to the world on a budget, like having to travel is very expensive. So I can see how this kind of model is being done. That being said, there is nothing audience interaction, right? There is nothing like having somebody losing their shit when you're on stage and being able to play with that person. A stocking peel is not a stocking peel. Somebody not making the O face at me when I'm doing said stocking peel. So as much as I love getting and dragging my house and not having to go anywhere, I'm gonna hang this robe back up in the closet upstairs and eat dinner when we're finished with this, right? So that whole part is really not having home. But I miss having people play with in the audience. I cannot perform for these cats and this dog for very much longer. They're already sick of my shit, y'all. And they don't tip. So everybody's bored at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Patsy, what do you think?
I think as soon as it is like officially safe, actually safe, like CDC says that it's safe to have gatherings, because burlesque is so touchy. Like, we will not be able to have shows until we have a vaccine, and it's like the curve is like negative, like it's an ass the other way, like, because we want to lick your face when you're near us. So if you're gonna, like, we have to wait till this is over. But once that is happening, I love to lick faces. You know this about me. You sit at my show in the front row, your face is gonna get lit. Anyway, so as soon as we're allowed to, and it's really safe, for real, I need to see people. I want to touch them. I want to feel their face. But I think until that point, and then even after that point, virtual shows are pretty dope. Like, it's a great way to make extra income without having to leave your house. It's a great way to have, because it's a great way to have like different kinds of burlesque featured, because the style of burlesque can vary from city to city. What is considered normal in Nashville is super fucking weird in another city, which I'm finding out doing these virtual shows. I thought I was classic in Nashville. And so that is super cool about it. And it's giving a platform to performers who don't have the money to fly to every festival, but they're able to do every single virtual show because they want to hustle from their house. They just don't want to buy plane tickets. So I think it's good. I think we should keep doing them. I think people should keep doing virtual shows. I'm going to keep doing them. As long as people pay for tickets, I'm going to keep doing virtual shows, even after we're allowed to see each other again. Because it's low cost to put on, almost no cost, like, compared to putting on a live show, in a theater. So 10 out of 10. Going to keep doing the virtual shows.
I definitely agree with that. Remy, what do you think? Are you as soon as New Orleans opens back up, are you getting back out there, or are you feeling more hesitant?
It's gonna be like absolutely 100%. Yes, we're ready to open. I need it to be a hell yes, not just a maybe. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if anybody's so there's a bunch of rich business owners in the French Quarter that are like pressuring the mayor to reopen the city. We are not ready to be open yet, but thankfully our mayor stepped up and said, I will not be bullied.
That's good.
So the mayor and the governor are putting their foot down. They're not, it's not safe yet, especially not New Orleans, because we were a hotspot for the virus because of Mardi Gras.
Right.
So again, I'm with Patsy. Like, I'm, as much as I miss being on a stage and I miss the applause and I miss the audience and the interaction, I need it to be 100,000% safe for us to get back out there. Also, I've been thinking lately, God, how many times have I put my glove in my mouth to take off my glove with my teeth, or licked my shoe once I took it off, or was laying on the floor and crawling around on the floor and then ate a snack and didn't wash my hands before I did that. I feel like such a gross trash person for all the stuff that I used to do on a stage.
I know. I've thought about
now
it
that
too.
I'm so paranoid about staying clean.
I think about every snack I ate off someone's table as I performed, for floor shows and stuff. Every drink I took out of their glass, this stranger's glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am definitely on the hesitant side. Nashville is feeling some similar things that you described in New Orleans. We actually had the same rich business owner pushback on the front end. There was some serious pushback as far as closing the bars downtown in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Because the tourists hadn't gone home yet.
Yeah. And now they are definitely, obviously, the ones pushing hardest to have everything reopen ASAP. But I think it's unfortunate that a lot of these places that will be opening decision being made is not being made based on science or on advice from, the World Health Organization or CDC. It's being made for economic reasons, which is completely understandable. I'm not saying that this has not been economically devastating, but the impression that a lot of people get from it is, oh, well, if it's open, then it must be safe. We can all just go out and go back to normal. And I don't think that's just not the way it is. We have to interact with each other for quite a while. So I'm really hoping to see these online shows. And by the way, if you and exclamation show in the chat on Twitch, it'll pop up a link to Patsy's Peep Show. And I really want to see more of these get traction and movement, because even after we're technically back to shaking it in person, I would love more opportunities. Plus, the opportunities that it provides for us to perform with and bring in performers from all over the place that we otherwise would not have been able to because of the restrictions around getting them there and the travel to get across the country, I think is really exciting. Like, able to see faces and butts and
absolutely,
and new viewers. I mean, the opportunity to be able to open your show to people who otherwise would never have traveled to your city, and so fucking cool.
And we may not be able to do uncensored shows, but we cannot wear underbras on it.
Isn't that interesting? So I will say, Twitch recently changed their terms of service around.
Well, fuck Twitch. I'm sorry.
Around nudity, and Twitch, I mean, has been fairly liberal. I mean, they you mark your channel as mature. You can say what you want. You're out there. No overt nudity. None of the super naughty bits that we all know to be super naughty. No nips, no genitals, things like that.
Evil nipple.
But now the underboob is included in what must be censored on your Twitch stream. Cleave is obviously okay, but your underboob must be covered, and then no completely bare buns. There's not a lot of description around what constitutes an unbare bun, but no completely bare buns on Twitch.
Well, they're just missing out.
Honestly,
on naked game.
For the most part, outside of Twitch, the types of the level of undressed that we're able to get on the internet is far more liberal than we're allowed to in Nashville. So
no, we're living the dream.
We're just living the dream. For those of you watching out there who aren't from Nashville, or if you are from Nashville and you've never been to a burlesque show, we have these lovely laws that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream that require us, if we're performing in a venue where alcohol is being sold, we must cover the underside of our breasts from the bottom of the areola to the chest. The nipples must be covered, the genitals must be covered, and the entire crack of one's bahootie and the vortex of one's butt, because that's a term we all use to define our butts. The vortex.
My ass is out right now, so I can't show.
There's not in the law itself. There's not a lot of description of what the vortex of one's ass is. So we've all attempted to define it, and we came up with the collective definition that it is where your genitals, your ass, your legs, all the goodness meets. So if you were to make this shape at someone's bent over butt, that we think is the vortex. So we make these really awkward underwears that cover our craxes and our this bit of our butt. Imagine a butt in that, like imagine my face. So that is what we cover, because that is clearly the sexiest part of a person's body.
It's where the devil lives.
Yes. Well, as I have heard Sass, who is in our chat, say about the underboob, it is obviously closer to Satan, so it must be
down there.
Also, I have them special covering panties because I had to have them because I perform in Nashville now.
Mm-hmm.
And my ass ate them panties. So
yeah,
if you have a butt, it will eat those panties. Can confirm.
Yeah.
Don't really know. I had them on though. Like I brought from Evelyn Vinyl, who does Blue Lawless, beautiful panties.
Mm-hmm.
And hers are like
girl.
exactly what they're supposed to be.
Correct.
Right. So she makes them 2-spec, right? Like it's not like, and I sized up because I know I got ass in them. But yeah, no.
I know.
My ass was like it was a snack.
Mm-hmm.
My booty was not. I was at the Nashville Burlesque Festival with most of my vortex hanging out. And I wasn't sorry though, because I don't have time to be apologetic for shit that doesn't matter. So
you know
you're
what
welcome.
though, Twirl? None of us are sorry that happened, and we were glad to witness it. I think
We were all there.
everyone on this stream has performed in Nashville if they're not a Nashville local, and I think we all have bahooties large enough that our legal panties have been eaten on stage by our asses.
Yeah.
So we've all been there with you, and we're still performing. So you know what? You come on down and let that ass eat them panties anytime.
Yeah. And I refuse to produce censored shows. So if you're ever at a show that I am producing, that I'm handing you a check, then your ass can be whatever. Your ass can do whatever. So that's a promise from me.
Loose.
Let that ass loose.
It's just gonna come out regardless if they're about or laws.
What do you guys? I'm curious what you guys have been doing with your time that's not burlesque related. A lot of us have Muggle jobs, or at least Muggle tasks. Obviously, we have houses that we have to clean and things like that. But have any of you, started learning a new fucking language, or
I'm in Zoom school hell.
Zoom school? Hell. Okay, sorry about that. Do you have a fun background for Zoom where it looks like you're flying the Millennium Falcon?
No, I don't even bother with that shit. These motherfuckers give me my fucking walls in my house and that's it. I have a green screen and I just ask for that shit because you don't get the quality of my green screen and my cute little background images. You don't get my fucking showgirl background. You don't get shit. You get my walls. Get these fucking dog and these cats. Whoever else walks the fuck by my camera. My husband's running around here looking like that's what the fuck you get. Sick of this shit.
Patsy, what about you?
Nothing extra. Be happy my fucking ass is here.
No, I understand. You're actually doing better than I am because the project that I've been consulting on, for those of you who don't know, I'm working on a VR project, developing an application for VR.
That's cool.
And in theory, the company that I'm consulting for wants all of our meetings to have our cameras on so that we can be present with each other. But I feel that since I'm a consultant and a contractor, I don't have to follow their rules, which isn't technically true, but no one has called me on it. So I just don't even turn my camera on. I feel like seeing me in any state of either dress or undress or whatever I happen to look like at 9 o'clock in the morning, they don't pay me enough for it. So they're not getting it. Get nothing. They get a picture of me. Static. Patsy, you speak Japanese yet?
No. I have been the least amount productive. Doing this virtual show is the first time I got on laptop. I was how does the internet work? We attempted to start a garden at our house, but dirt is angry, and you have to get a specific kind of dirt to grow vegetables, which so we're working on that. I baked a cake yesterday, which was good. I'm eating it now. I ate some of it in the MC bits for the show. I eat some cake. I don't know, I've been petting a lot of cats that are mine. Going on walks. I thought I was I'm gonna run shit. I'm gonna get so much done. Honestly, before I ran out of weed, I was just smoking a lot of weed and playing Animal Crossing. Also, now I'm out of weed, so I have no drive to play Animal Crossing. So I'm mostly just sitting around in this wig, and getting my money's worth.
Who's gonna sell your turnips?
I can't figure out the turnip market. I don't do stocks. I don't do turnips.
So guys,
I just want to fish.
My quarantine new thing that I have taken up is tutoring Patsy in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, she's taught me everything. I was how do pretty.
I love to just get an out of context text message that says like, "How do I fucking wish on a star?"
Where are the stars coming from?
That game sounds so cute.
It is cute. How have you been occupying your time that isn't burlesque related, Remy?
You're cutting in and out, but I'm assuming you're asking the same question as
I
the other two to me.
How are you occupying
Words.
your time?
How am I occupying my time? Well, I am in Nashville with the man friend person at the moment. And when I'm here, more like we're trying more new things. Like we made donuts yesterday with his little boy. So that was fun.
That sounds great.
And
Yeah.
we're doing like I've been doing obviously, you know, not while the offspring is here, but I've been taking more pictures for Instagram and for OnlyFans and stuff.
Cool.
And I've been catching up. I've been watching anime again. I haven't like really gotten into anime. It's like a good anime in a long time.
What are you watching?
So it feels nice to it feels like I'm in high school again. So I'm getting the nostalgia kick and just plowing through some really good anime.
What are you
And
watching though? What show are you watching?
I finished Beastars.
Oh
Which
yeah, I
being
saw
a-
that pop up on my Netflix. How is that?
It's so look. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I am a slight furry.
Okay, I was
And
gonna
this
ask.
show-
Yeah.
This show did not have to go that hard on the sexy. Like it was catered to people like me and also people who are way more intense than me, but also people who just like drama in a high school setting.
Okay, so so on the spectrum of just wants a high school drama to full on furry, it's there for you.
I would say it's about a 9. So yes.
Okay. All right. All right. It's good to know. It's good to know. Any other anime you've been watching other than Beastars?
Yes. My partner's little boy got us into Danganronpa,
I haven't watched
which
that.
is a little. It's really good. It's like it's kind of like Hunger Games Battle Royale, but it's set in a school, and they have to. But it's also like every episode's a whodunit kind of thing, when all of the classmates are getting picked off one by one.
Oh wow.
And the other anime that I got into recently is called Madoka Magica,
Mhm.
which is about a group of magical girls who fight witches.
Yeah.
And it's got some of the coolest art that I've ever seen.
Yeah, that one is really cool. For sure.
Yeah.
See how I've occupied my time other than giving Patsy Animal Crossing 2.
Yeah, I thought that's all you did. I didn't know you existed.
No, that's the vast majority of it. I've started streaming. That's a fucking thing that I've started to do. I also had grand illusions of all the shit I was gonna get done. I've said this on stream before, and I've said this to people. This is my thing. Is prior, so in the BC, as James in chat said earlier, before Corona, in the before times BC, I always used to say like, man, if I could just have a month where I don't have to do gigs, I don't have to work conventions, I don't have to go put a product out, I could get so much shit done on the front end. Like, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go. Oh, Xanthia, thanks for the sub. What? All right. It makes me. I dance really well on. In case you guys don't know, I'm like a totally. Max damage subbed. I'm gonna do this. Okay. I have been doing nothing. All of the things that I said I was going to do if I were in a situation where I had all the time and nowhere to go, I have not done it. And I initially felt very anxious and sad and depressed about that because it was very much that Twilight Zone, you know, when his glasses breaks and he's like, there was finally time. Like, that's how I felt. Because it's like, there's finally time, but now I have no motivation. Why can I not just make it happen? But I don't feel guilty about it anymore. I've come to peace with it. I am trying to just feel good about myself in the little bits of motivation and momentum and success that I get. But initially I felt really fucking bummed about it, and I was like, I'm the worst. I don't understand why I'm not motivated. And then I started talking to everyone else, and everyone was like, no, I'm not fucking doing anything either. I can't right now. I just can't. It's too much. So I guess that's mostly what I've been doing, taking solace in the fact that I'm not alone and not feeling actually one thing at a time, I think.
One day at a time, for sure. Yeah.
All right, who has things to plug? Patsy, plug your show. Talk about the show. Tell the people the things.
We're doing a show. People are filming their things after this stream, apparently,
That's
and
me.
gonna send them to me. Shade. And so it's gonna be called Patsy's Peep Show, and if it does really well and all the strippers make money, I will be doing them. So that is incentive for you people out on the internet to give us your money so that I can give it to the strippers. You got to give it. I'm going to distribute it because it's too difficult to just, I mean, you can send it to them also directly. This, it's an exchange of goods for services, and the service is shaking their ass. Patsy's Peep Show, there's tickets that are by donation on Eventbrite.
There's a
if
link
you hate
right there in your
Eventbrite,
chat. Right there. In the
yeah,
chat.
I think there's a link.
Right there.
Cool.
Looking at it.
I can't read. If you hate Eventbrite because they kind of suck a little bit, they're being very nice right now, but they normally kind of suck. You could also you can send money to my PayPal or my Venmo and just put Patsy's Peep Show, and I will send the show to you. You can also send virtual tips to those places, and I will distribute them amongst the strippers. Follow me on all the shit. I've got a Patreon, I've got an Instagram, I've got not Twitter because I don't understand it. I've got a Facebook. I put all my shows on there. It's going to be great. I look like this. You will see this exact face yelling at you about boobs in the video for Patsy's Peep Show, so just get ready for it. I hope you like it.
So ready.
This wig costs a lot of money. Please pay for it with your money.
Is that a Fifi Mahoney wig?
It is. I bought it when I was in New Orleans right before all this started.
Yes!
Yeah, and I didn't realize that I was going to be out of work for the foreseeable future, so I spent all my money on this.
It's a good wig. I recognize that Fifi wig, though. In the chat right now, there are links to everyone's socials. There are also links to Venmo and Streamlabs tips for those of you who are feeling gracious enough and would like to tip yo strippers right now. You can do that. You can tip any one of these hoes that are currently on your screen. Just for existing and talking about stripper shit on the internet.
Takes energy.
But I also have a look. There's a link to that show that Patsy mentioned. I am the procrastinating stripper that she mentioned who will be filming her act after this stream ends. Probably in the dark in my backyard. So enjoy that hotness coming your way.
Make your neighbors tip you.
That's what's gonna happen. Twirlisha, what do you have to plug? What do you have going on? Other than getting on OnlyFans and showing everybody your butt.
I'm gonna put my butt on OnlyFans, and then also I have a podcast called Showgirl Sunday Dinner that streams bi-weekly. I have been experimenting with some things since we are in the Rona time with doing it instead of doing a live stream on YouTube. I've been utilizing Zoom. I don't know how long that's going to last, but it is also on all of your streaming apps. So it's on iTunes and Google Play and Stitcher and those places. So if you just put in Showgirl Sunday to come up, you can also go to www.showgirlsd.com. I am on the Twitters. I don't remember my handle. I am also on the Instagram at Twirlisha and on Facebook as Twirlisha Divine.
I love that our extent of commitment to Twitter. I know I it's like I don't have it. I don't know what it is. I have it and I don't know where I am on it.
Twirlisha, your Twitter handle is just at Twirlisha.
See, someone knows.
And then
Thank you.
we get to Remy, who apparently uses Twitter. Remy, what do you have to plug? What do you have going on?
I use Twitter because A, I stalk celebrities, and B, I have OnlyFans, and that's literally the only place I can promote it without getting flagged or shadow banned or whatever. But speaking of, yes, my OnlyFans is onlyfans.com/REMYD504. I don't spell out the DEE at the end. My Instagram and my Twitter is RemyD504, and I would love it if on the Facebook, if everybody would like Remy's Playhouse. I'm gonna poof. There's a link. Oh, a message deleted by moderator. Never mind.
It's okay.
Just
Our
go on
mod will
Facebook.
put it through. I have a lovely human being sitting out there who will make sure your link gets posted.
It's okay. It's
Nonsense.
all right. Just go to Facebook
See?
and look up
Look at
Remy's
her go.
Playhouse.
She's so good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, follow me on all the things because I was talking with some friends about it today. Followers in this day and age is turning into currency. So that would be amazing if y'all could follow me on all of that.
Absolutely. And my shit pops up all during the stream, just like these ladies' shit's been posting up all during the stream in the chat box. You know where to find me. Just look up Ginger O Snap. O is with an OH, as in Oh Snap, on all the things, and find me. And yes, it is funny, Xanthia. You're not wrong. My Autobot was actually corrected once in thinking that link was going to be smut, but in the best way, not the kind of smut that usually gets linked by folks in the chat. All right, I heard that Taco Bell was arriving at my house shortly, so I am going to be shutting this shit down.
She's gotta go.
I gotta get. And also, I have to go film myself doing an act for Patsy's Peep Show, which I'm assuming you guys are all very busy buying tickets right now.
Right now.
I love you guys.
Because you have Taco Bell costs money. You didn't know.
Not much, but some.
You can't pay in titty shakes for Taco Bell. I tried.
That depends on the Taco Bell.
It's true.
Not necessarily.
North Nasty is
I'm
great.
gonna shake my ass at Taco Bell.
I don't.
Once we're allowed to touch people again.
If it doesn't go well, like, don't come back and yell at me about it. But I'm just saying, try it. You never know.
I'm not. I'm just doing it for the experiment because I'm bored.
Yeah.
Apparently, Greek only pays for Taco Bell in booty shakes, so it's working. You know.
I'm trying to get on their level.
Yeah. My body ladies, I am gonna get off of here. I love you all. Please go eat things and drink things and enjoy your partners and your homes. And let's do this again. Let's hang out backstage again sometime.
Yay!
Tell us who we should talk shit with next.
Oh yes, please. For those of you watching, if there are other strippers you want to hear talking shit about stuff, please send me a message and let me know. Post on any of our Facebooks, and we'll get them. I'll get them. I'll try. At least I ask really politely, so it probably works.
I'll get them.
All right. I am going to go eat my tacos, hoes. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.